TNA Wrestling, man, this thing it's growing. It's been around for years, but wow, this is just like a huge resurgence of the company. It's really going strong. Two wrestlers we're getting to talk to. They're both incredible top talents. Hey, Full Sail University, Orlando, Florida. TNA Wrestling will be there February 20th and 21st. They're going to do TNA Wrestling live on Thursday for their TV show, which is awesome, 8 p.m. on Access TV. And then you have tapings on Friday, February 21st. So you guys got to check that out. It'll be really cool. Wow. Steph DeLander, I believe she's the TNA Digital Media Champ. Yep. I believe this is correct. That's right. You get rid of that PCO guy and take that title. That's what I'm saying. And then you got Mance Warner, who I've known for years, one of the toughest SOBs around. What a combination, these two. I got to ask first off, I think I know the answer. Are you two the toughest couple in pro wrestling today?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, 110%, I would say.
What has it been like now? I know, Mance, you're just part of TNA Wrestling now, but what has it been like for you, Steph, going through this journey and then having Mance come aboard and now be a part of this as well?
It's been a very interesting ride because, you know, I didn't expect to find TNA as this home for me in a way that I love it, right? And I feel like my ideas are listened to, and I feel like I have a lot of creative freedom and I get to be myself. And I think that's why my performances are so much more authentic than they ever have been in my career. And now being able to bring in my boyfriend and get to share how awesome TNA is with him and get to see him kind of flourish and have his first big television spot is really awesome too.
Mance, what do you have to say about all this and just be a part of this? Right away, Sami Callihan, he's a tough SOB too. I don't know if he's as tough as Mance Warner, but he's tough too. But what has been like just getting involved and maybe working something with Sami now?
Oh, for me, it's like I've said this before, TNA is something I grew up watching. I was watching as soon as it started. And I always knew I'm going to be at TNA at some point. Now, fast forward, I'm there. I debut. Me and Steph are there. We're going to take over. No one's going to stop us. You mentioned Sami Callihan. Yes, he may have been there at TNA longer than I have. I just came in, but I'm going to take over. No one's going to stop me. Sami may be stinkier than I am. Sami may look grosser than I do. Sami may be dumber than I am. But that's it. After that, I will beat down Sami. I will cut up Sami. I will stop Sami at every turn. I will fight him in the parking lot, in the back. I'll climb at a dumpster and stomp him down in there. That's where he should stay and sleep. It's just begun. The violence will continue to rise and rise with me and Sami. There's a history at TNA. There's the X Division, the knockouts, great technical wrestling, high flying, everything. But people seem to forget violence is what kind of helped make TNA. There's so many matches, and I'm not going to name them. I'll let fans just sit on that and think. There's a lot of old school violence that was at TNA. And old Mance is here. Sami's here. I think we're going to fight and fight and fight. And at some point, I don't know where it leads, but there's going to be carnage and destruction and maybe some blood, maybe some, either way, I'm just going to beat down Sami left and right.
Yeah, we can go back to Abyss, Raven. I mean, just down the line, there have been some really classic, brutal matches, TNA Wrestling and all. And I know when they signed you, Mance, you come in there to fight. But I'm just curious, aligning with Steph, how is that? Is this a first for you two now to work together per se, or have you done this before?
Well, there's been a little bit here and there at some companies, but now you got to look at it. We're at TNA. Me and Steph are walking in here. We've already got the gold. Day one, got it. I'm going to be feuding with Sami, and it's not a feud, it's a fight. It's not a match, it's a fight. You ain't going to be no arm bars. It's going to be fists and headbutts and biting and spitting and all that. And I love that. Sign me up. I will do it every day. But like I said, man, we're walking in here. No one's going to stop us. No one's going to tell me what to do. I lose my mind. I get crazy left and right. The only person I listen to is Steph. That's it. You got anything to say, baby? Lay it on them.
I mean, I think us as a duo is so strong because we don't just link up at work, talk about what we're going to do and go do it. we live together, we travel together, we hang out together all day, every day. So, you know, you bet your ass on Tuesday morning, we're sitting there plotting what we're going to do to Sami Callihan, because that's legit. That's what we do. So I think the fact that we're a real life couple makes us a lot stronger and also a lot more dangerous than anyone else on TNA.
Well, I do know you both love this profession, no doubt. I'm curious, though, as a couple, you're talking pro wrestling. You mentioned that. Is there a time, though, that, hey, let's go do something else. Let's get away from the pro wrestling a little bit. Let's just take it easy. Or is it just pro wrestling talk and discussions and creating 110% all the time?
No, we definitely we definitely make time out of wrestling, right? So we definitely make sure that whether it's we're taking the dog to the park, we're going down to the pool, we're going to a comedy show, we're hanging out and watching a movie, like whatever there is, I do think it is important, even if it's just for a few hours of like, hey, let's put our phones down. Even though we're always thinking about ideas for wrestling, let's make sure we kind of clock off for a little bit. So then when we tap back in, we can go in with like a fresh set of eyes.
Full Sail University in Orlando, that used to be WWE NXT's home base for their tapings. The WWE Performance Center is not far from there. So I'm wondering, is Mance and Steph, are they looking to go take over the WWE Performance Center? Maybe go down the road and just take everybody out?
Well, we live like 5 minutes away from Full Sail, which means we live about 10 minutes away from the PC. And I still remember how to get there. So I think at some point, giving Mance a little tour of my old stomping grounds and seeing if he wants to get involved in the shuffle definitely could be an interesting idea.
And once again, we don't got to fly nowhere to get there. That means there ain't no security guard stopping me, patting my boots looking for a screwdriver, or seeing, you know, maybe if I'm walking through a building and I'm pretty handy with tools, I could pop a door off real quick. And, you know, then I could put someone through that with a choke slam or a pile driver or a DDT. The possibilities are endless. You know, it's a blank canvas, and I like throwing a little blood on that canvas.
Oh, you like to get a lot of blood on that canvas, Nance, man. That's the thing. It's curious because this is a curious time, because we've never seen this before, where companies like that at WWE, TNA Wrestling have joined forces per se with talent, matches, things like that. From a professional standpoint, just what are your thoughts of all this happening now?
I think it's super exciting. I mean, you know, when I check my phone and I see Santino Marella has turned up on NXT, like, it's hilarious. I love it. There are dream crossovers that you never thought would be possible, that all of a sudden they are possible. I mean, off the top of my head, if someone like AJ Styles were to ever show up in TNA, I think the place would become unglued. I'm telling everyone that'll listen that we need Chelsea Green to pop up on TNA, just because whenever Matt Cardone is in the ring, the whole crowd chants Chelsea's better and we want Chelsea. So there's certain people that I want to show up on TNA. And then the other side too, you know, there's people from TNA that I think would really flourish in the WWE environment. And on a personal note, I have unfinished business there too. There's a lot of people that I used to work with that are still there that have, you know, a right hand come in, whether it's for me or for Mance. And I think Mance, you know, has never dabbled in the WWE realm before, but I think it's only a matter of time before that happens. So yeah, what do you think?
I mean, there's dream, like, you know what pro wrestling is doing well, really, really well. When fans every day are tweeting out dream matches. We want to see this, want to see that. That's good for the business. That's good for people in the locker room. That's good for the fans. We're going to Full Sail. There's a rich history of pro wrestling in Florida already. You got Dusty Rhodes back in the day. You got the NXT fans that have watched everything there. Every week they're there. They're getting to see it. Them same fans love TNA. You hear TNA chants on NXT. Now TNA is going to be there for 2 days. And that could turn into something just right there in the parking lot. I debuted at TNA. Steph's at TNA. We're here. I want to make my name at TNA. I want to be, when people go, who's at TNA? They go, Steph and Old Mance. And that means I'm going to have to fight anybody, and I will fight anybody. Dream card, dream matches, sign them up. You just said AJ Styles. Anyone on NXT wants it, they can have it. What's Abyss doing? Throw him out there, baby. Bring Abyss out there. Let's get that barbed wire going. We will fight anyone. This is just the beginning. We will continue to climb the ladder. It's good for the fans. It's good for everyone.
I'll tell you what, it's such an exciting time, and you two are part of this exciting time, a big part of it, which is so cool. Steph, I wanted to ask you this, a few more questions. We'll get you both out of here. Australia, that's your roots, that's your home base. What was pro wrestling like in Australia for you growing up? Were there a lot of pro wrestling fans, and were there places to go train in pro wrestling? How has that evolved?
So wrestling was like an underground subculture in Australia, right? So I, like, growing up in school, I think I was probably the only girl that liked wrestling at my school. I had a few random guys that, like, were the nerd kids who watched it, but I would meet up with them and we would talk about what happened on Raw that week. But it wasn't as big as it is in the States. And also geographically, because we're so far away from America, you know, we would be lucky to have one WWE show a year where they would send oftentimes kind of the B team with a couple of stars on it. And we thought it was our WrestleMania because that's all that we had access to. So it kind of makes you like more desperate to get your hands on wrestling in some way because it's just not as accessible. And then to transition into becoming a wrestler myself, I literally met a friend at a Booker T signing at a mall who was like, "Hey, you know that there's wrestling here as well?" And I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't know what indie wrestling was. She opened the door. Then I found a training school. Then I started training from there. But as a wrestler in Australia, the opportunities are a lot more few and far between. You know, you're wrestling once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks, rather than if you're here in America, you can wrestle multiple times a week if you want to. We don't have WWE or AEW or TNA on the soil who are giving people opportunities. And then if you do get an opportunity with a bigger company, you basically have to be valuable enough that they go, "Hey, we want to deal with the immigration system and pay you a whole bunch of money and pay to get you a visa and go through all of the headaches of that because you're that valuable that we see something in you that we can't replace with another American where it's much easier to hire them." So it's a lot harder for Australians to get their opportunities. But I will say it does create this like fire and obsession to get your hands on anything that you can. And I think that's why my work ethic is the way it is.
And Mance, for you, what drew you to this? What made you decide, hey, I want to get involved. I want to be a pro wrestler and all. Tell me, am I right to say Billy Roc was a person that helped get you started in that? Who was trained? I guess Dory Funk Jr. trained Billy Roc. So there's some nice lineage there. But you
100%. So when I was a kid, I'd always be running around getting in trouble. When I was 2 years old, the only thing that would chill me out was pro wrestling. They turned on WCW or WWF. That was it. So that was my thing. And like Steph just said, once you get hooked on it, I remember going to Lee's Video. That was a little tiny place in my redneck town. You could rent videotapes there. I'd get every single tape. I would be watching 1998, 99. And then I found everything from the 80s because this guy had everything. So I would study every single tape. Boom, boom, boom. I knew I was going to be a wrestler. Fast forward, you get into pro wrestling. The independent scene when I was coming in, everyone just mimicked what was on Ring of Honor. That ain't my style. I want to fight. I want to do 80s, what I love. Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard. I want to do old school Jake the Snake Roberts, Randy Savage. I'll name names all day till I'm can't talk no more. But that's what I love. So fast forward even more, I'm at TNA and I did it my way. I didn't, I'm going to mimic everything. I'm going to mimic what I love and what drew me into this industry. And to sum it all up, I love fighting. I love violence. Give me a microphone. I will talk until they turn that sumbitch off. But now we're both at TNA. We're going to make our name there. That's our place. We're going to throw it on our back. And I love it, man.
That is awesome. Hey, we're going to get you both out of here. I know you mentioned Chelsea Green. Yeah, I'd love to see Chelsea Green, Matt Cardona versus Mance and Steph. That's my dream match. I'm telling you right now, that's my dream match.
Yes. Let's do it.
Okay, so I got to end it with this. And I always want to thank Dr. Ross. Everyone knows Dr. Ross. He's a gem with TNA Wrestling. Come on. So just always got to give a thumbs up, Dr. Ross. Plus, I got to get you out of here or he'll get mad at me. So I got to get done with this. So here you go. How did you guys meet?
Wrestling.
Yeah.
We wrestled each other in a match and we fell in love in the ring. And then that was it. That was history.
There you go, everyone. There you have it.
You can't complain about pro wrestling. I see a lot of people saying I will never complain.
No.
I met my wife. We got 4 cats and a dog. She's the only one that calms me down. Other than that, I'm a crazy person.
Hey, what are those animals' names? I gotta know. I gotta know what their names are. And we'll get you.
We've got Dallas. These are the cats. Dallas, Denver, Helen, and Spaghetti. And then we have a dog called Starbelly.
All right. Hey, listen, everybody. TNA Wrestling, February 20th and 21st. That will be at Full Sail University in Orlando. Check it out. The brand is hot right now. It's great. Hey, Slammiversary will be coming July 20th. UBS Arena, Elmont, New York, home of the NHL, New York Islanders. And I know Mance, if he doesn't like hockey, at least he likes the fights in the NHL. So thank you both.
Thank you.